Hi there, students. This is Dr. John, your physics and math professor, coming to you with a parabolic or a parabola quadratic exam question. This might be the kind that you'd have on a test or a quiz. What they want you to do is find the x-intercepts of the quadratic function y is equal to 3x squared minus 10x plus 6. I've rewritten it over here. And they want you to find the exact values. Anytime they ask for the exact values, that means you'll want it in terms of actual numbers or in square roots. They don't want it in decimal points. So we look at this and we say, how do we solve this? If you want the x-intercepts, here I'll just do a quick review for you. Here we have a y-axis and an x-axis. And a parabola might do this. It might go in the other direction. It might hit the x-axis once or twice. Parabola like that never hits the x-axis. These places where it hits the x-axis can be called the x-intercepts. They can also be called the roots. They can also be called the solutions. Any of those things. It's what happens when you make the y value 0. What do you get for x? That becomes very important in a lot of practical applications. So what we're going to try to do is take this equation here and say, what would happen if y becomes equal to 0? So in that case, we have 0 is equal to 3x squared minus 10x plus 6. And this looks like your typical quadratic formula equation. We can't factor anything out. We might be able to actually do a specific factoring, but actually I've looked at it. It's fairly difficult, so we won't try to go through that right now. So let's use the quadratic formula. In that case, a is 3. That's this first term. B is equal to minus 10. That's the second term. And c is equal to 6. That's the third term. Always remember to include the minus signs in any of these if you have them. And then we'll write out the quadratic formula here for you as well. If you have this, then the solution here, or the x-intercepts, is x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. The first thing that you do when you calculate these things is calculate this thing here inside the square root. That's called the determinant. It helps determine whether you'll have 0 solutions, 1 solution, or 2 solutions. If this thing is negative, you can't have a negative inside a square root. It's not permitted. It's against the law. In that case, there's no solutions. If this is inside the square roots is a 0, then you just have the solution minus b over 2a, 1 solution. However, if it's a positive number, then you would have minus b plus that number or minus b minus that number. I think we're going to find that the case in this case. So let's take a look at this here, the b squared minus 4ac. If they ask for the determinant, they're looking for this. B squared would be minus 10 squared, but the minus sign, the squared kills the minus sign. So that's 100 minus 4, put brackets around like that. A is 3, C is 6. So let's multiply this all out. This is 24 times 3, that's 72, minus 72. And then we'll take this, subtract this. If this was 75, this would be 25, but it's 3 more, so that's going to be 28. Let's continue the solution now on this other side here, knowing what we know here. So x is equal to negative b. B is minus 10. So we're going to do a double negative on that. It's just going to be 10. Plus or minus the square root of 28. Why 28? Because that was the determinant. That's everything inside here. I didn't put the square root around it yet. All divided by 2 times a. A is 3, so that's 6. Now what can we do with this number 28? Well, 28, if you remember right, is 2 times 2 times 7. So you can take a 2 out of this because there's 2 2's inside the square root. So I can rewrite this like this, 10 plus or minus 2 square root 7 over 6. Now notice there's a 2 here and a 2 here. There's a 2 here as well. So we can make this 5, taking one of those 2's, plus or minus root of 7 over 3. This is 2 solutions. It's 5 plus root 7 over 3 and 5 minus root 7 over 3. This would be the zeros, this would be the x-intercepts, or the solutions. Any one of those 3 terms is valid for this. This is the exact values because we haven't taken the root 7 and put it into a decimal form. And remember, when they ask for that, leave it in this form. I hope that helped. If it did, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.